is my first television series review! Hooray! May the massive applause commence! Yay! Woohoo! If you are tuning in for the first time, I'm Amber Adams, a romance writer, and this is Romance in the Media! If you're looking for a steamy, romantic read full of magic and adventure, then you should check out my novel, Starspark, Games of the Gods. It is a first book in a 7-book series. It's romance, it's spicy romance and urban fantasy. It's got tons of monsters and gods, hot dudes, nice lovely ladies, strong lovely ladies. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Apple Books, and Kobo. They make great stocking stuffers or holiday gifts for the readers in your life. You should check it out. I will post links in the description below if you are interested in taking a look. So today, I'm going to be talking about a show that I instantly loved. Now, this is a science fiction show, but it wasn't short on romantic episodes, and I was pleasantly surprised. Yes, so the show started out on Fox, but it ended up moving to Hulu, where I now stream it. I watch it probably way too many times, but it's fun. It's a fun ride, and it's created by Seth MacFarlane, you know, the Family Guy guy, and all those, you know, Ted, all those other Seth MacFarlane shows and movies. And it's a live action show. It's not a cartoon where he's voicing 10 million characters. No, he's actually live and in person. He's a real boy. Woo! Well, the Orville is an homage to all those great Star Trek episodes and series that we all grew up on. My favorite Star Trek series was, in fact, Voyager. I know it was a long time ago now, what, the late 90s, early 2000s, if that. I don't even remember how long ago it's been, but that was my favorite series. But let's backtrack. Let's go back to the Orville, and because that is the topic of discussion for today. So, yes, the show pays homage to Star Trek. It is not a spoof. It's basically Seth MacFarlane's love letter to Star Trek. He's saying, hey, I love your show so much. And it started out as something really funny and silly and crazy, and it was an all-around good time. But through the couple of seasons that it's been on for, it's changed a bit. It used to be, you know, silly, cheap, funny laughs, but now the whole atmosphere of the show has changed with season 3, where it's now a little bit of humor and a lot more drama and suspense and adventure, and it's a whole new world basically. And all the actors in the show, they really bring it. They really express all of their talents, and I am completely blown away by how much everybody has put into this show that started out as something cute and silly. It even covers a lot of real world topics that are going on today. I'm a really big fan of where the direction that the show is going now. Lots of drama, some still stabs at humor. Still the MacFarlane brand of humor, of course. But it's a good show. I strongly recommend it. Now it starts out as Seth MacFarlane's character is a man named Ed Mercer. He lives in 400 years in the future. This takes place 400 years in the future. So everything. It's all futuristic and, like, you know, towers and this and that, you know, flying cars, you know, pods take you places. They don't need money anymore. That whole dream, right? We don't need money anymore. That is a dream. A dream. Anyway, the character, Ed, he comes home to find his wife in bed with this hot blue hunky guy. Oh no! How terrible! She's having an affair. He's crushed. He's heartbroken. So he leaves. But this actually sets him on the path to becoming a captain on his own exploratory vessel in space, and he is only too happy to accept. So that's where the whole adventure starts, the whole show, and it was super cool and super fun. So in the show, there's a lot of really great characters. You have your Klingon type guy. He's got like ridges and stuff in his forehead. He's a Mocklin. His name is Bortus. He's funny. I think he's hilarious. His deadpan humor is just spot on, and he's a great character. But my favorite character is a character named Gordon Malloy. He is his actor, the guy who plays him, is, let me get my notes here. Yes, I have notes today. I have notes today. Let me find, I know I have it. Oh, here we go. His character is played by Scott Grimes. Yes, I knew his name. I just couldn't think of it, so I had to find my notes. Just off the top of my head, it was just gone. But anyway, Scott Grimes, I like him. He's a funny dude, and he's a little bit of a cutie, so that doesn't hurt any. But his character has such great one-liners. He's an excellent. He's really good. He's really natural. It doesn't feel like it's forced. I'm kind of wondering if it's because he's playing himself. Maybe that's how he is in real life. But hey, the man's talented. There's several episodes where he's like singing and stuff, and man, that guy has a voice. It is really good. I'm surprised he doesn't have any like huge like record deals or anything. If he does, let me know. I'll go look for him because, dude, I like the way he sings. It is excellent. I mean, he's funny. He's kind of a cutie. He's got, oh man, he can sing, dude. That's like the whole package right there, right? Well, anyway, the character, Gordon, he is such an interesting character that whenever they have a Gordon-centered episode, he always, what am I trying to say here? He really does, he knows how to bring it, okay? You feel super, it doesn't feel fake. You feel like he's actually feeling all these emotions and all this turmoil and strife that he gets put through. His poor character, man, his heart gets bashed around here and there, left and right, like a ping pong ball. Oh my gosh, it is so horrible. Not horrible, it's good for drama, but it hurts my heart of the stuff that the writers put him through. I mean, I understand that. I'm a writer myself. I put my characters through who knows what. Oh, it's crazy. We're mean. We're mean to our characters. Anyway, his episodes are always so impactful, and they're gut-wrenching and sad and emotional and beautiful that I think they've really picked the right actor to portray this character. He does a stellar job. There's one episode in season 2. It was called Lasting Impressions, and it's basically, it starts out, they're opening a time capsule from the 21st century, so our time period. And inside it, there's a cell phone, and they're able to turn it on, and they find photos and video and messages from this woman. She's kind of cute. She's pretty. So he's like, oh, she's interesting. I think I'm gonna like investigate this a little bit more. What ends up happening is he starts actually being a little bit too involved in this phone and figuring out what this woman was like, that he creates a simulation program. It's like, you know, it feels real, but it's not. It's just a computer program. So he ends up actually falling for her, which I thought they might have been going to use that for some kind of cheap laugh. You know, cheap laughs, you know, a guy falling in love with a computer program, ha 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 ha. No, it's actually, it's real. You feel how he feels about this, you know, she's not real. She's just a program that she was real, but she's a program now. She's dead, and it hurts that all the decisions he has to make regarding her program and what his life is, what he wants out of his life, and what he wants, if it's unrealistic, but it still doesn't stop him from liking her. the character Laura, the actress who plays her is amazing, and she has a beautiful singing voice as well. And they actually put a song in there from a 1980s animated feature called The Last Unicorn, which this just made me love the show all that much more because, dude, they put a song from an old cartoon that I don't even know if anyone's ever heard of that before, or if they have, it's such an old cartoon that we all grew up on it. So I'm like, guys, writers, you are excellent for thinking of putting that song in there. She sings "That's All I've Got to Say," and it's a beautiful rendition, and I just think it gives me a great feel about the episode and the show and the song and Grimes, he sings the song with her too towards the end of the episode, and you're like, oh my god, it's so sad. Oh, she's not real. I wish she were real. It was that sort of a thing. It was such a sweet episode. He falls in love, but with a computer program. Poor guy. He doesn't get a break here. So in season 3, we come back to the whole Laura Huggins thing within an episode called Twice in a Lifetime. And this time he actually gets to meet her in real life because he somehow gets transported back to our century, to the 21st century. So he actually meets her, he falls in love, they even have children together. And oh gosh, it is such a... This episode killed my heart. Because the crew in the future now have to go back to get him. Because he messed up the timeline. Oh no, he messed up the timeline. They don't want any... you can't do that. When you get sent back in time, you have to lay low. You can't talk to anybody. You can't fraternize. Can't do anything. You just have to be invisible. He couldn't do that. He couldn't stand doing that. So he went out looking for her because he knew she was here. He knew she was alive in that time period. So he went searching for her. They meet, fall in love, and they have a family. And then the crew, Ed, comes back for him. I'm sorry, when they came back for him, the way Seth MacFarlane and Scott Grimes played off of each other, I seriously, I needed tissues. It was such an emotional, and it killed my heart because now they have to take him back. Which means this whole life never happened. No family, no Laura, no, he doesn't get to live out his life with the love of his life. He doesn't get to do these things now. But when they go back, he won't even remember her, This wouldn't have happened. But still, it's like, they have to bring him back. And how he just yells and says, no, don't do this, how can you do this? Oh my gosh, Seth MacFarlane he's so much of a good actor that it shows. It's him and Grimes, they play off each other really, really well. And I was super impressed with them. They should have won like some award for that episode. I'm not kidding. I needed tissues. It was so sad because think of that, his family is no longer going to be alive. He's not going to have that family. I can't imagine my life, not having my son. I could relate to him there. He's going to lose everything if he goes back. But then he would never really know they were existed either. So it's kind of there's a no-win. That's a no-win for any of them. But man, the two of them, they did a really good job portraying how painful and what they have to do so that the future remains, so that their life remains theirs and that nothing gets messed up along the way. I suggest you go watch that episode and say, hey, if you didn't think Seth MacFarlane was a really good actor, go watch that episode and then come back and let me know how you feel after it. It's such a moving and it hurts. It hurt my heart. That one hurt my heart. It was super sad. So, yeah. Wow, I'm still like, I just watched it just to, brush up for this video, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. What am I gonna do? It was sad. Oh. Well, enough for the sad episodes. Let's move on to my absolute favorite episode of the whole show. Okay? Now, this one was called, let me get my notes because I have the title of it here somewhere. Oh, let's see. Here we go. Okay, I found it. Yes, I need my notes. I know. Someday I might not need them. This is not one of those times. Now, the episode that is my all-time favorite was called A Happy Refrain. It feels kind of light and breezy, not filled with a whole bunch of drama to weigh you down. This one was light and fun. But it was a full-on romance episode. I was impressed by all of the writers here. Even if Seth MacFarlane had a hand in writing it, man, he's got some really good romance writing ability. He should write a novel. He should write a novel himself. We'll see where he goes. But the episode, it features the ship's doctor. Her name, the character's name is Claire Finn. She's adorable. Oh my gosh, I love her to death. I love her so much. And then there is Isaac. He's an AI robot. Now, this robot, he's like your typical, like, old 1960s version of what a robot was. So he's got like no facial features whatsoever. He's just like gray, and he's got two lights for his eyes. He can't feel anything. He's a robot. He's got nothing going for him. Well, he's got everything going for him, but he can't feel anything. He can't feel emotions. So he's basically there to learn about humans and what makes them work. So this episode, the AI robot's name is Isaac and Claire. In a couple episodes earlier, she starts finding herself a little bit attracted to him because he proves himself to be a good friend, and she starts to a little spark goes from her, but it's kind of hard to do with a robot who doesn't feel anything and a human who feels everything. Oh man, that's just a recipe for disaster right there, right? Oh man. But she asks him out on a date. And he accepts it because, hey, it's a chance to learn about humanity, or learn about biologicals, not humanity, because, aliens, everything, the whole thing. All biological life forms. So he wants to know, their rituals, marriage, love, the whole thing. He wants to learn about it. So he accepts the date purely for information. But they do end up having somewhat of a good time. He learned a lot. The date didn't go all that well, and she's kind of hesitant to accept a second date, but she ends up accepting a second date after a whole bunch of hilarious mishaps and him trying to act like a human man with, breaking into her apartment during the, to give her a cake because somebody suggested, hey, I made this dude a cake. You should do that too. So he did, but he broke into her apartment at 3 in the morning. You don't do that. You don't do that to somebody. That's just terrible, right? I'd be super mad. Unless you brought me tacos. If you brought me tacos at 3 in the morning, I won't complain. Just saying. But they end up going out on a second date. And this time he's able to develop a program where it's like a simulation program on his body, on his robot body, and he looks just like a human man. And dude, he's like super cute. All right, he's a super cute guy. And she's like, she's totally smitten. And yeah, one thing leads to another, and it's like sexy time, folks. It is on. She wants that. Yeah. So she goes for it. He goes for it. Lots to learn, You gotta learn about that stuff, right? So anyway, they do the deed, and then he feels that he's really reached the end of all the information he needs. So he asks the guys, some of the crew, how do I, end this coupling? And they give him some not so great advice, with him sitting in like ratty underwear and blaming her for stuff in order for her to break up with him. Yeah, she don't like that. So she kicks him to the curb. She says, "Get out, I don't want to see you, blah, blah, blah." She gets rid of him. And she's like incredibly hurt. And he doesn't understand what he's done because he doesn't feel it. He doesn't know that this was not how you break up with somebody. This is not, you don't do that to people. You actually give them a little bit of respect and say, hey, it might not be working, but you don't lie and cheat and like try to get out of something. He doesn't understand, so she forgives that part. But it's still kind of like it wounds her heart, and she doesn't really want to see his non-face ever again. So what happens is he starts, processing that, without her in his life, all of his functions don't work very well. In fact, he makes mistakes, and for a computer to make mistakes, dude, that's big, right? Computers don't make mistakes. That's all numbers and data, right? But he makes mistakes, big ones. Which is the writer's way of saying how an AI machine, a robot, can actually feel. It's like he has emotions because he misses her, In a way, he misses her. His functions work so much better with her in the picture with him. So now he has to make up for it all, and he has to win her back. And he does this in the sweetest, most cutest way possible, okay? I was like, oh my gosh, it was super cute! So he was creative, and he thought of a way to win her back. She likes the rain. Claire loves the rain. So he arranged for her to come up to the bridge where all the officers and everybody's doing their jobs and they're all working, and he configures the control panels to start raining, like literal rain, like water. Everybody's sitting there getting soaked. They're just allowing him to drench them all in water, and they're just sitting there politely and calmly just watching Isaac talking to Clara about how much he needs her, or how much that his programs run a lot smoother with her in his life, and they have the singing in the rain song playing in the background while everybody's getting soaked, and they're just like being all cute and holding hands and stuff. It was the funniest thing, and also the cutest and sweetest way to win back her heart, because it worked. And she and him ended up becoming in a relationship, and it was super adorable. And the line for my favorite character saying, they are without a doubt the strangest ship in the fleet, or the weirdest ship in the fleet, was like the perfect way to end that episode. It was great. That is my favorite episode of the whole show. I will rewind that whole scene back again right when he calls her up to the bridge to apologize and ask her to come back to him. It was super adorable, and you should all watch it. It was super cute, and yeah, there's not enough praise I could give for that episode. It is the best. It is the best episode for a romance writer like myself, and it was adorable. It was adorable. I highly recommend you go check it out. It is great. As we move on to another set of characters that I'm not particularly rooting for, this one is Ed and his ex-wife, who is also, ding ding ding, ends up being his first officer on the ship. Yeah, that's not a great combination. I love her as a character. I love the actress who plays her. I don't think that the characters, I don't know if the actors lack chemistry together. It's like McFarlane and she's not, it doesn't feel natural to me with them trying to be together. I don't know. It might just be my interpretation, might just be me, because I'm still, part of me is a little bit miffed that she cheated on him, and that now, they're trying to put them back together, And there's a whole bunch of other issues going along with that, saying how it might not have been her fault entirely, that the blue guy, he might have been in heat giving off pheromones to make people think that they're in love with him. Because that's how they find mates that's how these blue guys find mates, is through pheromones and attraction. It makes you feel like you're in love. But I just still don't like the two of them together. I don't know. I don't know. It feels forced. It feels forced to me. And maybe because I prefer the more dangerous coupling with him and one of the enemies at the time was called the Krill. They're like these beings that can't be in direct sunlight. They're kind of like vampires, space vampires. It's pretty cool, but they don't drink blood. No, they don't drink blood. But it is super cool. I like Ed with what's her name? Talea. I think her name was Talea. But oh my gosh, I like unconventional and hard to put together couples, and I think they work much better together. But that's just me. That's just my creative brain saying, hey, let's take a hard situation and try to make it work instead of the easy one, with the ex-wife trying to get back together. That one seems kind of easy to put them back together instead of him still, working hard, and her and the Krill lady who's having a whole bunch of other issues and problems, and it's just I like the harder to work with couples to put them together. But yeah, that's the I might also be it was hard. It's hard for me. Oh my gosh, I can't even say it. I can't even say things. But I do not like Ed with Kelly. I prefer Ed with Talea and Kelly to find somebody else. I think it would be much better. And I kind of had a feeling that they might be going down a different route with Kelly and the guy I mentioned earlier in the video, Bortus. He's like, the Klingon, Klingon type guy. But they have an all-male species, and he has a son with his mate who's also a dude. So I can see why. But I like, hard to, work with couples. But I thought they had a moment, but they might not have had it, because I'm just kind of like, oh, yeah, that would be a cool pairing. That would be great to put those two together. But then I'm like, no, it probably wouldn't, because Bortus still loves his mate, even though they had a falling out over an issue that you'd have to watch the whole series to see. It's a long issue, so it starts from season 1 all the way to season 3. And they kind of end and they weren't sure if they were going to get a season 4. So they kind of wrap everything up that needed to be wrapped up in terms of like pairings and who goes with who. Isaac and Claire, they end up getting married, and then you have Ed and Kelly thinking that they could be together. But I think if they explored different areas more, it would have been, I think, a little bit more dramatic and better for me. I'm going to be honest, for me. But they weren't sure they were getting a season 4. So yeah, it's a good idea to wrap it up and put it on end on a light note rather than a war and danger and all that stuff. So yeah. That's just, I'm glad that they're getting a season 4. I'm really glad that they're getting a season 4. So now I can't wait to see what is coming ahead for me and one of my favorite shows. So yeah, I like this show. There's a couple of things I would have changed if it were me. But then again, most of it I feel is perfection. Maybe not perfection, but close to it. I like the characters, I like the writing, I like the acting. It's a show that really immerses you into the whole world and how it could possibly be like that. And I like the dramatic twists and turns that the show is taking. I highly recommend seeing it when you get a chance. It's on Hulu. Go watch it. Go watch it right now. If you like that kind of humor, it starts off with the Seth MacFarlane humor. All the jokes and silliness and stuff. But if you want more serious, try to muscle your way through those first 2 seasons. You'll find some really good episodes in there. So to take you to season 3 where it gets more dramatic and more like it's its own show and not, you know, a rip-off of Star Trek. It's not a rip-off, it's an homage, sorry. Like, it's not, you know, it's basically Seth MacFarlane's love letter to Star Trek, you know. They even have actors and directors from some of the Star Trek series that have come before, you know, guest starring and directing and stuff, these episodes, so that everybody is like on board with this. So go see it, watch it. I hope you like it. I like it, and I'm excited and ready for season 4. Let's bring it on. So that is it for today. That's all I've got for you. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I know I go off on really weird tangents sometimes, and I got noise going off in here. I got cats, they make noise, they do things. So, I post, yeah, they make a mess, and I make faces because I'm trying not to yell at them while I'm talking to you all. So, subscribe if you like. It's edit free, I know. Big surprise. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Maybe I'll learn. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But I post a new video every Sunday, and sometimes I post shorts throughout the week. So, until next time, friends, I will see you soon. Da, da, da.